Hey guys, today I wanted to kind of follow the theme of my last video and share some mystery and suspense book recommendations. But because I just shared an Agatha Christie recommendations video, her books will not be on this list, otherwise they probably would overpower the list. The thing with mystery and suspense is I feel like it's such a hard line to figure out, like, what is mystery, what is suspense, what is thriller. Some of them obviously fall into a certain category, and some books are a little bit more gray. I just did the best that I could here. So we've got some mystery, some suspense, some that are both, some that might dip their toe in thriller. It's definitely a hard list to make as far as just trying to figure out what should go on, like what pile, but I'm excited about these books. I'm also not including any straight up historical mysteries, books that are completely set in history. Some of these are dual timeline, but I think I'll have a whole separate video for completely historical mysteries. So if you want that video, that will be coming at some point. Okay, let's just start with a stack that I have in front of me, and then we will go into the ones that I don't own. I feel like I gotta say this one. I'm actually currently reading / listening to the most recent book in the series, and that's the Thursday Murder Club. If you have not hung out with Joyce and Elizabeth and Ron and Ibram yet, please take this as your sign that you should do so. We follow these 4 lovely older people who are in a retirement village, the name of which I'm blanking on, and it doesn't say on the back. And they come across a murder in the first book, decide to solve it together, and they're on to murder number 5 in the book that I'm currently reading. They're just so much fun. We often get Joyce's point of view, and she writes in a diary, and Richard Osman can write the old lady so perfectly well. Like, she's a little bit oblivious, a little bit ditzy. She appreciates like old lady things, but then she's there with her friends solving murders. Yeah, I love the tone in which he writes these books, and they are fantastic on audio as well. At the time of filming this, Audible is having a sale where it's like 99 cents a month for 3 months. If you have not grabbed that deal yet, definitely do so. The first book that I bought was the most recent book in this series. I've listened to them all and love the audio, which is saying something because I don't listen to like a ton of audiobooks, but I highly recommend these on audio. Okay, this one is what's the word that I'm looking for? A bit of a polarizing book as far as some people really didn't like it, and I'm not 100% sure why, and I loved it. Of course, I have to have a Jamie Jo Wright on here. I decided not to share my absolute favorite because I've been sharing about it a lot, but I think this one is the most suspense, closer to thrillery type books of hers. That is The Souls of Lost Lake. I think this one is controversial because it's a little bit more bloody than her other books. So hers are always dual timeline. In our old timeline, we're set in 1930. It actually starts even before that. At the age of 14, our character in the older timeline, she comes out of the woods carrying a bloody axe, and it turns out her whole family has been murdered. And then we jump forward when she's a little bit older, and she's got this like stigma surrounding her. The people, it was never proved that she killed them. She never went to jail or anything, but like everyone kind of thinks that she did. And so we've got that mystery going on in the older timeline. And then in the modern timeline, we are following a woman who is helping at a youth camp. And then one of the campers goes missing. Oh, so maybe it's not a camper, it's just a little girl in the area. So we've got like the woods, we've got a missing child, we've got a history of terrible things happening in these woods. And it is definitely like darker than most of her books, but I also feel like her faith elements really shine and make it just like the perfect book. This would have been such a good one to reread in the summer, maybe next summer, because, you know, it's got that camping vibes. Yeah, If you have not read this one yet, I feel like I haven't given it enough attention. I need to start promoting more of her books than just my absolute favorite, but this was a 5-star read for me. A suspense trilogy that I flew through years ago is the If I Run series. So we have Casey Cox. She, right at the beginning of the book, she goes to her best friend's house and finds out that he's been murdered. And of course her DNA gets all over the crime scene, and the police are trying to peg the murder on her. So she's on the run, and I really appreciate like her high moral standard. Like she's trying to solve the case while being on the run because she knows she didn't murder him. She's trying to figure out who did. But there's like different situations that she comes across, and I feel like she's so honest while hiding from the cops. It's very interesting. And I really like the whole like thinking about, okay, if I was trying to like hide from the cops, how would I do so? And yeah, just like the way she like gets a different wig and all these different things. And I wouldn't be able to do anything. I would just get caught instantly. But it's interesting to think about. I love a number of books from this author, Carrie Stewart Parks. This one is A Cry from the Dust. I wasn't sure which one of hers to share here. I like quite a few, but there are certain things about this book that I love. And I won't say because they're spoilery, but Carrie Stewart Parks was a forensic artist, something. Yeah, I think it was an artist. And she takes her knowledge and uses it in her books. So in this one, we're following, Gwen Marcy, I think is the series. She is also a forensic artist, and she stumbles across a ritualized murder of a young college student. And this is like, I think in the same area where in 1957, a wagon train in Utah was assaulted by a group of militant Mormons, calling themselves the Avenging Angels, and people were murdered. So we, once again, have a little bit, I don't think we hop back into history here. It's just parts of history have to do with the mystery. The one disclaimer I have is I do not enjoy our main character in this series. I don't really like her as a person, but I do like the series, and then I enjoy most of Carrie Stewart Parks' other books as well. This one I read last summer and really enjoyed it. It is a Kate Morton. It is The Lake House. My usual complaint with Kate Morton books is they're about 100 pages too long. I did not think that with this book. So this is also dual-ish timeline. I think we actually hop around in a few past timelines, but the main thing is in the summer of 1933, there is a party going on, and their like 1-year-old child disappears. 11-month-old son vanishes from his crib. There's no trace, never to be found. And then we are 70 years later, one of that missing boy's sisters, so she's now like, I don't know, 80 or something, 90. She is the author of mystery novels, and she gets a letter from our main character asking questions about the disappearance of her brother. I thought this one was really fast-paced. It was one of the few times where I was like, okay, her book has the right amount of pages. That's all for my physical books, but that is not all for my recommendations. There's so many other good ones. Okay, my next suggestion has some cult vibes, which is a topic of interest to me. So if you have book recommendations, especially that have some cult vibes, let me know. It's Lay Your Body Down. And in this one, our main character, she gets a call. Her ex-boyfriend has died, and I think it's ruled an accident. But at the funeral, his parents come up to her and share their suspicions that he was actually murdered, and they think that the church that he was going to, which is the church that she was going to when she lived in that town, is covering something up. So they ask her to try to ask around, figure out what's going on, and in the process she stumbles across definitely some signs that he probably did not die a natural death by any means. There was probably some involvement from someone. I haven't read anything else by this author, I don't think. Maybe I should see if she has some other good ones, but I definitely enjoyed that. One of my favorite authors that I came across last year is Jessica R. Patch, and I'm going to put her FBI Strange Crimes Unit series on here. The first book is Her Darkest Secret. So each of the 3 books follows someone that works in the unit and some kind of mystery. Usually it's usually a serial killer that has something weird that makes it a strange crime. And the first one is the nursery rhyme killer. And there is, by the 3rd book, there is also cult vibes again, so definitely of interest to me. I would recommend the entire series. Really enjoyed all 3 of the books. I feel like, Jessica R. Patch quickly became a favorite author once I started reading her books last year. Then we've got Girl Lost. I just read this one in the summer, and we also follow, I think it's going to be a series. This is book 1, and I think we're going to be following people that all work in law enforcement. In our first book, I can't remember, she was working undercover. I don't remember exactly who she worked for, but worked for law enforcement. She's coming back to her hometown because she's searching for a daughter that she gave birth to when she was a teenager that went up for private adoption. She's going to meet the guy who arranged the private adoption. She doesn't know where her daughter is. And when she's waiting at the diner for him to come and tell her things, then she sees him get abducted. And so he disappears. Meanwhile, there's other disappearances going on in the town, and so she's trying to get to the bottom of it, trying to figure out where this guy went, who is her daughter, where, what's going on with these other disappearances. Lots of different things going on. And I thought that the thing that I can't tell you, kind of like the reason behind a lot of it, was very interesting, very unique. And I look forward to reading more books in the series once they get published. I feel like I would be missing out if I did not mention Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers, which I feel kind of bad recommending it because I have yet to read book 2, despite intending to read it time and time again. Just always other books take priority, I guess. So in this one, we follow an older woman named Vera. She has a tea shop, and she's just like a sweet Asian mother. I can't remember where she's from, but she texts her son in a way that is very stereotypical older Asian lady, looking for a girl for him and making sure he's doing all the right things. It's pretty funny. And then one morning she wakes up and there's a dead body in her tea shop, and she tries to figure out who did it. I don't know what makes her think that she can solve it. But I had fun with it, and yeah, just because I haven't read book 2 doesn't mean it wasn't great. Just means I've been lazy and need to get on that. And then the last one is one that I just read in September, and I've talked about it in so many videos since. You Are Fatally Invited. This has got And Then There Were None vibes, plus it's kind of got some Clue vibes. We are on a remote island. There is a horror writer that is arranging a writing retreat for other horror writers. And so you've got, I don't remember how many people, 6, 7 horror writers that come to this island. And the person hosting it, their assistant, is the event planner, is also on the island. This event planner has it out for one of the guests, but we don't know which one for most of the book, and has a plan for them. But then things start happening with the guests. They start getting killed one by one, and the event planner was like, this wasn't the plan. We had a plan, and this is not it. And even though I've read similar books, Locked Room Mysteries, before, I found this one unique. I had no idea what was going on and just loved it. I read this book so fast. I didn't stop and really think because I was just enjoying my time. Highly recommend it. Also, don't know, I feel like maybe this was the author's first, the debut novel. I need to look that up because I would definitely read more by her in the future. So I'm gonna leave it there. Like I said, this doesn't include any Agatha Christie, any actual like historical mysteries, any that I feel like were a little bit more in the thriller side of things. So if you have some recommendations for me in this area, especially if they have like older women being the person that solves the mystery, or cults, or any of those elements that I really enjoy, especially like some humor, please leave them down below because I love that kind of thing. Thanks for hanging out with me again.